Hello, welcome to the May Watch Party. This is the fourth one of these events we've done, and it's a wonderful way for us to celebrate all the great stuff that happened. Oh no, I have this open in a different screen. This is our way of celebrating all the wonderful music that was made and all of the wonderful opportunities that were fostered at NERFA 2023 down in Asbury Park, New Jersey, which is really a pretty magical place. We're going to talk about that a little bit more later on tonight with our guests. We're switching up the format a little bit. Before we did 4 or 5 videos, each one of these things, and we basically set it up so we would do 15 minutes, 15-minute performance play, and then a couple minutes with the artist, and then keep round robining. We're doing 10 artists, 9 artists this time around, and we're just going to play one song from each of the performances, and then we will get everyone in, and we'll talk about the experience, and it'll just be a conversation about making music and the challenges and what we're trying to do to make it a little easier for folks. If you're watching, drop us a note, let us know what you think, ask questions, and we'll be happy to have you. That being said, we're kind of playing this one by ear. So instead of doing what we did before, where we had one person on at a time, I'm just going to bring all of my people hanging out in the back in. So please welcome Aaron Ash Sullivan and Kemp Harris. Oh, no, he's not there. And Brad Reed. Kemp will come back. I'll add him when he comes back. And we got Will Daly, though I don't see his video yet, so I can't add him. But I will when he goes there. So yeah, I remember the process of when we decided that this was something we were going to do, and we kind of looked through the formal showcase applications and sort of the way the applications came in. We were like, all right, we've got the formal showcase, but then we've got these great people that were just separated by a hair's length. What can we do to celebrate them? And we sort of went to the video thing, and I know a good number of the people that I called and that I wrote, and I said, hey, you've been chosen for this thing that you didn't even know was happening. Can you be there? Can you do it? Brad, you and I had the most epic game of phone tag ever. I think it was like 3 weeks of me calling you calling me back, and it just never really playing out, but I'm really glad it worked out.
Yeah, I'm glad that it worked out too. It was a great experience. Good addition to the conference.
Well, we've also got Kemp. I'll bring him in, and we've got Will Daly. Oh, Will, that's a great background. You look like you're in the boarding school of
Hogwarts.
Yeah. There's a little Ravenclaw.
I am.
But
I ran upstairs to grab my phone, and I was like, I know the minute I go, they're gonna say like my parents. And I was like, God damn it! Look.
Well, it's I am throwing everyone for a loop. If you had watched the previous ones, they were very wait your turn, and then you'll be on for a couple of minutes. This time, we're just going to be here. We're going to watch the videos a little bit together, and talk about the experience, talk about music, and this is fun. Only because I know I'm a Boston kid. I've always been a Boston kid. Huge history of music in Boston, particularly in the folk scene, but Boston and NERFA were never really as much of a kissing cousin kind of relationship. We had a great Maine group. We had a pretty good and regular Vermont group. We had a huge New York and New Jersey, but we've got 5 people on here, and 3 of them are Boston folk. So that, I feel represented. It's good to see you guys. So let's start with the first video that we've got, which I really love, only because I have known Aaron for years. Like, we have crossed paths many times, and I know I've seen you perform, but usually in 5-minute increments in hotel rooms between 1 and 5 a.m. And for whatever reason, that doesn't glom into the brain quite as much. The joy of putting these videos together is there's a wonderful team that's involved in it. So it wasn't me walking by. It was me sitting down and watching these videos time after time after time, and getting sort of more enamored of things that I never had sort of time or had the right confluence of events to pay attention to. So we're going to start with a song from you, and then we'll keep going.
Okay.
All right. Don't be nervous. I promise you're great. Boop.
Hi, I'm Erin Ash Sullivan, and I'm going to start with a traveling song. Five more miles on Highway 10. Time to stop for gas again. Now he's one more tank away. Would it have changed a thing if he'd have told you stay? Crack the door and taste the night, and the feel of freedom by fluorescent light, and the road sighs out the day's last heat to the sound of a bird singing low and sweet. She'll serenade you as you're leaving town. Hear the notes rise up as the sun goes down, down, down. Sometimes leaving doesn't need a word. Listen to the song of the rest-stop bird. 10 more miles on Highway 5. You need the rhythm of the road to feel alive. You left behind a heart of stone, hidden in a nest of sticks and bones. He promised you that the walls would hold, but there was nothing soft to keep out the cold. So you were both to blame when your love got beat. All those eggshells lying beneath your feet. She'll serenade you as you're leaving town. Hear the notes rise up as the sun goes down, down, down. Sometimes leaving doesn't need a word. Listen to the song of the rest-stop bird. Little bird don't care that he don't care that you flew off without warning. Little bird don't care that he don't care that you'll be gone come morning. Little bird makes leaving look so easy, just a breath of wings, easier than a lot of things. She'll serenade you as you're leaving town. Hear the notes rise up as the sun goes down, down, down. Sometimes leaving doesn't need a word. Listen to the song of the rest-stop bird. Listen to the song of the rest-stop bird. I ain't nothing but a rest-stop bird.
Oh boy.
Hey, Aaron, but was it okay? So like I don't know that everyone knows. I don't think we've ever clarified in these videos, but like I don't let you guys see these before we show them.
No, you don't.
Are you okay? Are we good?
Yeah, I'm great. I'm great. I think it's awesome. Thank you.
Okay.
Especially given that I was probably up till 3 o'clock the night before. So there's that.
We're gonna talk more about that when we get to Will's video, because he like and Will can get away with it. Will, you can get away with this, but you do what every artist is told not to do. You basically start with a apology when you're like, I'm starting first thing in the morning with a recording, and I was up till 4 a.m. playing music. So we'll see how this goes. So I think it's a place that a lot of us were. But how was the experience? Had you done video work?
I have not done formal video work like that before. That was sort of a first experience for me, and I have to say I was completely psyched to have the opportunity because I think, when you talk about, being able to book venues and house concerts and things like that, having that good video is just so critical, and I've been able to cobble stuff together from prior shows, but to actually have a dedicated moment to focus on that, it was a real, um, amazing privilege, so I'm super grateful for that and very excited to see the rest of it.
I'm glad to hear that. We ended up investing in this specifically because in all the surveys and all the community meetings we had, we're always listening for the the constant thing that keeps coming back. And coming out of the pandemic, sort of two things came that we were hearing very clearly from both the presenters and the artists. For the first time in my life, presenters were saying, no, we want video. Like, video is great. Well, we'll book off video. Prior to the pandemic, I don't know if anyone had this experience, but I have been told flat out by almost every venue that unless I see you live, I won't book you. So it was really nice to be able to make that to create that opportunity for people. I also love that we were able to do it in a way where we could go out and we could get people like, this is what they did. It's like we got a cinematographer with lighting background as opposed to someone with a nice camera.
Right.
So that was
That's the other thing is there are plenty of friends of mine who'd be like, I'm happy to take video for you, but then there's no guarantee that you're actually gonna get anything that's decent.
Yeah, I really liked your video in general. It was really fun to watch that stuff again. I dropped a link in the chat for anyone watching. It premieres, the full 4K version of it premieres tomorrow on our YouTube channel at 6 p.m. And we'll keep moving along. It's good to see everyone. By the way, everyone can jump in. I don't have to play the narrator. I'm just really uncomfortable with silence, so I tend to fill that role. But we'll jump to the next video, which is unfortunately an artist that couldn't be here, but is playing our concert series, Coffee and Wood, which the only person here that has played just joined us. Taylor from Cricket Blue just jumped on the thing. We have two venues that opened up to us and gave us the ability to do these shows. One of those venues is a really great bar in Western Mass. It has a listening room in the back, and that's where Flamey's going to be playing. And I'm super excited about that. But Taylor, you guys got to play in the craziest room that I didn't know existed. And it's less than 8 miles from my house.
It was truly wild. The thing that primarily made it crazy is that it has the largest organ I've ever seen in it.
Pipe organ.
It takes a pipe organ. Takes up the whole back wall. I read in like a pamphlet I found somewhere that it had 6,000 pipes. I don't know how organs work, so I guess pipes is different from notes. But if you can picture how large something with 6,000 pipes would have to be. The space was huge. The ceiling was very tall. The delay, the echo, or like the decay of the sound was like 3 or 4 seconds long, which made everything sound crazy. Very memorable.
Yeah, it's been one of those spaces because the way the Coffee and Wood series go is we offer it initially to the formal showcase artists to fill the opportunities that we have, and then we get through that, we go to the EPK artists. We have that room currently only one more time this season. We're trying to get the pairs in there because, and all due respect to everyone else, but specifically, it's a room, and I was really happy that we had Cricket Blue started off. It's a room that if you decide to fight that room, you will lose. It is like 4 stories tall, giant opens. Like, it is the most reverberant room. Kemp, they have 2 grand pianos in it. Like, it is one of those rooms that just, it doesn't make sense. Like, you walk
Where
in,
is
you're
this
like,
place?
it's in Methuen. It's in the middle of Methuen.
Wait.
You're
Is this
playing it.
did AJ do
Yes.
some booking there? I'm
Yes.
doing that in October or something
Different
like
series,
that.
but you're playing that. It is the
Oh,
craziest
not
room.
really?
You will love it.
2 grand pianos?
2 grand pianos.
Shit. Okay.
You will appreciate it. I promise you. we'll keep talking, but why don't we jump in and play a tune from our friend Flamey?
Playing hip swing, singing, songwriting, drag queen, and yes, Christian artist as well. If you have questions about that, so do I. Still ask myself on the daily how we got here, but I feel like this song kind of explains a little bit of that journey. It's actually the song that got me kicked off the Grammy ballot for the contemporary Christian music category. So would you like to hear that? Okay, cool. This is called Esther, Ruth, and Rahab. In the church where I was raised, all the women hid their hair with what can only be called doilies made of lace. They sat beside their husbands and they never spoke a word, 'cause public prayer was not a woman's place. But literally any man was welcome to stand up, and for an hour we would listen to them talk. And I guess the lesson there was God would only hear a prayer when it came from a person with a cock. I can't figure out what the problem was. As a kid, those Sunday mornings made me restless, bored and numb, and my Bible was the one way to pass time. So I spent the hour in search of stories brimming with suspense, and I found Esther, Ruth, and Rahab were sublime. Castaways who outwitted and outplayed an immigrant ancestor to the incarnate divine. Everyone has a star that lights their way. We see our paths by someone else's shine. Well, Esther, Ruth, and Rahab, they were mine. Every Sunday I would find a brand new story of a girl who made some patriarch meet his match. They were painted as conniving, but it wasn't hard to see that secretly most men just fear the snatch. I know that's true because there are some absolutely terrified men in the front row right here. You know, Deborah's military mind, it brought peace for 40 years. The witch of Endor, she saw right through Saul's charade. Of course, Eve said, fuck the system, I am chasing after wisdom. Rachel wouldn't let herself be played. Jezebel sure gave him hell, but she wasn't scared to die. If you're with JL, well, think twice when you recline. That's a deep cut. The only reason we have Moses is 'cause Miriam was there to keep his petty ass in line. Castaways who outlasted and outplayed an immigrant ancestor to the incarnate divine. Everyone has a star that lights their way. We see our paths by someone else's shine. Esther, Ruth, and Rahab, they were mine. But when they talk about the heroes of the faith, they always mean Elijah, Abraham, or Dave. But Esther, Ruth, and Rahab for me were just as big. I wanted to be like them, so I bought myself this wig. And like 50 other wigs. You can't buy just one. My church insisted women all be small, submissive, and unseen. But their own holy book betrayed that lie. 'Cause in those pages you'll find badass rebel warriors and queens, practices, witches, whores, and wives all causing scenes. Every woman in the scripture smashed the norms to smithereens. So it's a good thing when a girl learns how to fly. And that's one truth from the Bible I'll hold on to till I die.
I love Flamey so much. I've got so many people to add. There's so many of us. Someone's everything.
That's some storytelling.
Got it.
I remember being at one of the late night showcases, and I was trying to see somebody else, and so I was going to leave the room, but Flamey was there getting ready, and so I was, I was like, oh, well, I'm looking at the thing, I got to go and see people, but I was like, no, I'm staying with this. I need to stay, and I thought the set was just amazing. It was just, it was one of those little hotel rooms at 2:30 in the morning or whatever time it was, but I thought that her messages and her lyrics were so incredibly chilling. It was just awesome. Just awesome.
I have to admit that I thought she was saying rehab until the end of the song, and I was like, what does rehab have to do with these other biblical figures? Jewish, sorry. Hall pass?
All good. I
Never heard of that person.
I loved one of my many favorite moments of the conference, because like I'm not involved in choosing UO. There's a wonderful set of judges that changes every year, who are spectacular, and they choose who gets these opportunities. Because of that, I don't like, sometimes I get to sort of fumble through and check out people's entries and get some idea on who people are, but there are usually like 150, 160. So I miss some, and I think this is probably the first time someone could say this. I missed Flamey. Flamey's hard to miss, and they were such a force, a positive force as a performer. We had fantastic reviews of the panel that they were on. That Natalia's on the programming committee that helped put that together. It was a really wonderful experience. It was great having her. And it'll be great having them next week at our show. I got people backstage. I need to re-add. Hey, Tracy. Hey, Laura. We've got 2 Cricket Blues. I'm going to put you next to each other. Sorry, I'm moving you down, Renee. It's okay. You're on your own line, or well, you and Tracy. But yeah, I everything evolves. But to me, what I love so much about Flamey's act is it, like, no one can argue that was a folk act. No one can argue that was about the songwriting, and that was deep, strong, smart songwriting. And everything else is just part of the total package. But I really enjoyed it. But we got other stuff. I don't know if anyone else wanted to jump in and say something about it, because you guys were all there.
Well, I love this because I didn't miss Flamey. I saw and talked to Flamey, but I missed the performance, and this is just great because I love the conversation with him, but I didn't get to catch it.
Yeah,
I appreciate that this is coming full circle.
Yeah, it's. I mean, it doesn't matter how hard you try, you will all miss something at NERFA, because there's something going on 24 hours a day for 4 days, and unless you are an insomniac with a coffee problem, you're probably going to miss something along the way. But it was good to have that. Next in our line of artists is someone that I love and got to hear for the first time last year when they were a formal showcase artist at the Stone Pony, and blew me away. It was one of my favorite performances from last year, and the fact that we got to do the EPK with you this year makes me super jazzed. The fact that you're going to be playing the room that our Cricket Blue folks played is, oh man, you're going to love it. Like, get there early just to play with it, though.
I cannot.
It will throw you. I got in there, just the first time I got in there, I just started singing at the top of my lungs just to see what would happen. And I scared myself. I was like, nope. All that being said, Kemp Harris, here's Kemp.
I am such a Joni Mitchell fan, and I wrote this song about the way she uses lyrics, because she can take this many words and make them fit a space this big. So this is called I Like the Way That Joni Mitchell Runs Those Words So Close Together. I know. I like the way that Joni Mitchell runs those words so close together. Train tracks disappear behind a metro line or train. Thinking about where I've gone and could I ever reach that space again. But I don't think I can take it, especially when you sit and stare. And I don't know if you love me, and I don't know if you care. No, but I like the way that Joni Mitchell runs those words so close together. Sometimes I think I know you, and when you talk, I know what you mean. Your body fits on mine like a pair of well-worn blue jeans. But other times I don't know you, and I can't figure who you are. And your emotions fly so fast, they're like shooting stars. Shooting, shooting, flying and diving. Sometimes our love reminds me of a Joni Mitchell song. The melody's so beautiful, but the words, the lyrics can get so long. Are we a long player, the kind the FM stations play? Or are we simply top 40 on the AM hit parade? They seem to be always changing. I like the way that Joni Mitchell runs those words so close together, so close together, so close together. Yes, that ending was from the last time I saw Richard. I didn't steal it. I'm telling you, I copied her last line. Okay. This next song is.
That was awesome, Kemp.
Wow.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And Aaron, like you, I was sitting there like, oh my God, what am I going to see? What did I look like? What I've never seen that. That was so nice. Thank you, Ethan. That was awesome. I mean, I'm not saying I'm awesome, but it was just awesome seeing it.
Well, you
You
were
are
awesome.
awesome.
It's okay. We can.
And you know,
admit that.
I have the same jade necklace, my same jade that I was wearing there. It's like, yeah, so yeah.
I'll say
Yeah.
you're awesome for you. You're
Well,
awesome.
Thanks,
I
Will.
agree.
And as these things stack up, I'm just like, I'm coming somewhere and it's gonna be horrible for me.
No, we all had that thought. I'll tell you. Yeah,
What's
it's
wrong
like
with
I've never
us?
seen this. What am I going to look like? Did I sound okay? Did I mess up a chord? You know, yeah.
That's perfect.
It's it really is one of those things that I wanted more than anything for this to be the kind of experience that people would have and not just walk away. Like, we expect a lot when you go to conferences cost a lot of money. I'm really aware of it. as someone that runs one. Trust me, it cost a lot on both sides. And it was really important to me that we started looking at ways to make the opportunities that you found at these events feel permanent, meaning they weren't just that I walked in and I found the right person at the right time, and I followed up with them, and maybe a gig came from it, maybe a gig didn't come from it, but wanting to just have something and capture those moments. Because like, we're a family. Like, me being a musician in this community, it's a family event. And yeah, there are the people that you can't wait every time you come. Like, the joke I always told is Heather Lloyd is one of my dearest friends in the world. And she and I had a lot of fantastic music opportunities at the same time. Once I was touring with my old band, every time I went to Baltimore, I would call her and be like, "Hey, I'm in Baltimore. We should get together." And every single time she'd be like, "Oh, I'm in Boston." And we had that realization as a musician that unfortunately the only times you're guaranteed to see your other friends that are musicians is at festivals and at conferences. And I think that's a really important aspect of conferences. But the other part of it is we wanted you to feel like you were leaving with something tangible, that's something that you could help get you more gigs, help get you the attention to keep things going. So, man, Kemp, I love that we got to work with you for 2 years in a row, and I hope we get to keep work with you forever, because you inspire the heck out of me. And
Well, I'm already signed up for this coming year, so yeah.
I can't wait. I can't wait. I'm really excited that we've got about 250 people already registered. We're 6 months out. Last year, we didn't even have registration up until May 9th. And I know that because May 9th is my birthday. And I made a deal with myself. It needs to be up by your birthday or we're in trouble. But I'm excited. Anyway, enough about
That's
that.
a way to let us know about your birthday. Look at you just had this pre-party. We could just keep this stream going until the 9th.
Wait a second. You know what?
Like-
Let's do it early.
Just all stay awake. We'll play
Okay,
songs for you.
let's do it early because we won't be there. Let's sing "Happy Birthday" right now.
Oh, no.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, even though it's not until when was it? Or
May
is
9th. You got a couple days. It's okay.
it okay. Happy birthday to you. Boom. There it is. All right.
Got it. I super appreciate that no one else jumped in, because doing that in a Zoom is a cacophony. And I got a happy birthday from Kemp. That makes me feel wonderful. Thank you so much. Well, Will, you basically said you got to see that and you got nervous about when you were in line. You're up next, buddy. That being said, I do want to say that you were a new person for me. I had known Aaron for a long time. We just I never had a chance to appreciate her music. Kemp had been sort of a big part of things. But you, like, I had known of you, but I had never gotten a chance to meet you. And from the Tall Musicians Consortium that met at 2 a.m. in the lobby, and so you, me, and Ben had like an hour and a half long conversation about how the air is different and thinner where we live. It was just really wonderful, and this is you, and we love it.
My name is Will Daly. This is my first NERFA experience. So, I was up till 3 a.m. playing music, and now it's the morning, and here I am on camera. And the first song I'm gonna play, what I want to tell you about it, is a song that I feel like I can play in the morning after jamming until 3 a.m. at NERFA. And it's called Eliza. And it's about good intentions, though ill-conceived, going horribly wrong. The day woke up to violence. I caught my shoelace in the sunset. I tripped throughout the morning. By now you know my My pistol was never loaded, but bullets hit the air and they found another man and he hit the ground. So let me catch my breath, and before you start crying, turn off the television and hear me out. Hey Eliza, I will love you until I am bones, but I can't stick around here anymore. Any minute now, they'll come crashing down our door. So grab what you need, we've gotta go. Oh no, 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 no. What did you think would happen when the bills are going north and the work is going south and we're running out, we're running out, we're running out. The freedom's in my failures, as I check myself for holes and I'm crawling over glass, I realize, hey Eliza, I will love you until I am bones, but I can't stick around here anymore. Any minute now, they come crashing down our door. So grab what you need, we've gotta go. Oh no, 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 no. Hey Eliza, I will love you until I'm bones, but I can't stick around here anymore. Any minute now, they come crashing down our door. So grab what you need, we've gotta go. I will find you a diamond in Mexico. I will find you a diamond in Mexico. I will find you a diamond in Mexico. Oh no, no, no.
Well, damn it, you're good.
I was going to say, I saw somebody wrote they didn't know how to find the chat. I don't know how to find it either. So I'm just going to say it here because I don't see how to get into the chat. But Will, the line, "I'll love you until I'm bones," that is one of the deepest expressions of love I've heard in a long time.
Oh, thank you.
That's just so pretty. Oh my God.
Thank you.
How do you get into the chat, Aaron? I saw you chat it before. How did you do it? I see hi chat, but then when I do it, just says no one's going to hear me ever. I don't know.
I went to the YouTube page and did it from there.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. No, I'm not leaving where I am. I'll just talk to people after. Okay.
Like that.
No worries. Now, I want to bring up a fun story. There was a wonderful event that I got to attend a couple weeks ago. The first annual induction of the Folk Americana and Roots Hall of Fame down at the Bach Center in Boston. It was an amazing event. Truly one of the most inspiring. As someone that grew up in the folk scene, Peter Yarrow, Noel Paul Stuckey, who I had met both of before. They're both lovely, lovely human beings, and it was wonderful to get a chance to see them again. I got a chance to walk Joan Baez around, to her interview and get her wine. That was fun. But I got to be at the event for the night before the official event, which was really sort of a family-only affair where the families of all of these legends in our community, like Odetta and the Weavers and all of these folks were there. And in general, if the person being inducted was alive, they were invited to play a song. And if they weren't, a member of their family was invited to play a song. And if a member of their family wasn't a musician and didn't feel up to it, they'd call someone else in. And Will did double duty, and he did a spectacular rendition of Richie Havens' tune to Richie's family, which was just absolutely gorgeous and mind-bending. But he also did the Byrds. You ended up doing Turn, 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 which how much warning were you given that you were going to be playing this in a room of legends?
Well, I got a call to do it many months before, maybe like 3 months before, and they're like, "Hey, will you do one of the artists on the list?" I said, "Yeah, but who's doing Richie Havens?" Because I love Richie Havens, and I had an experience meeting him when I was a teenager that left a huge impression. And I think he's so singular. So I just asked, "Who's doing Richie?" And no one was doing it because you need. I trained like Rocky, my right arm, to play Richie Havens, and I still have like tennis elbow and carpal tunnel from training. I actually even got in a pool and like moved my arm around to do stuff because I wanted to get as close. You couldn't touch that atmosphere, but you could kind of get up in the sky a little bit towards Richie. And so I worked on that for a long time. And then the night before, someone was sick, and I got a call around 9 p.m. to do Turn, Turn, Turn to honor Pete Seeger and the Byrds. And it was lovely to have 3 months of prep for one and then not much at all for another, because that's for every performer. Sometimes too much prep is not good, and so to have that kind of come in and just cut away my worry about doing the Richie Havens, it helped. And it was a transcendent experience because Joan Baez is looking right at me, and my friend Betsy Siggins and Livingston Taylor and Peter and Paul are looking at me, and everyone's family, and Richie's daughter is right there, his manager's right there. And it was transcendent for me. It was an honor.
As someone in the room, you did an amazing job.
Oh, thank you.
I'd say the only other person that wowed me quite as much as you was Gordon Lightfoot's daughter, who saw that coming. She killed it. She came in and she just slayed it. But
in the fact that she picked the song, like she had me bawling before she started, because she's like, I'm not gonna do the hit right now. I'm gonna do this song that he wrote recently that makes me feel the closest to him right now. And it was beautiful. And Josh White was
yeah, he's a legend.
Yeah,
it was funny. He was there to accept the award on behalf of his father, and I was kind of sitting like, you kind of should be getting your own too. Like,
I know
this is a multi-generational.
We'll get there. And then Frank Hammond.
Yep, from
right?
the Weavers.
The Weavers got up with his banjo and played a song from 1948, "Hold the Line," and it was haunting to see this 90-year-old man get up there and bring this whole audience in, having them all singing along, singing this song about fighting and holding strong together against fascism. And how he did it with Pete Seeger, and he did it with such grace and also joy to the calling of holding the line together, that it was incredibly moving.
Yeah. It was a pretty magic experience. I was really, really grateful that I got to experience it with you. And
I was glad you were there because it really happened. You know,
Yeah.
I talked to.
Also, I got to hang out with your mom. That was cool.
Well, I brought my mother, which on an open bar was a mistake. It was a mistake. Richie Haven's manager had to then manage my mother.
There's a phrase that I don't think I made it up, but I started using during the pandemic, and it's become one of my favorite phrases for the opportunities that are problematic, and I just call them problematunities. And I met your mom, and I'm like, this is a problematunity. She was amazing. I loved every bit of her. All right. We're gonna move on to we have, ironically, we have one of the pairs. That feels slightly awkward, but Renee, I'm so happy to have you. Thank you for being here. I got to meet you guys a couple months before NERFA up at FMO, and Justin Nordell got to play a joke on me because Justin Nordell loves messing with me, because I heard you guys play and I was gobsmacked. I was like, they are so tight as a unit. Like, I know that they're like, there's a sister thing going on, but like you are so connected. And Justin just turned to me and he goes, Ethan, they're teenagers. And I was like, no, I meant his me. And like immediately red face, like I'm not gonna go. And later on the weekend, you came to talk to me, and I can't remember which of the other pairs was there, but they said something about coming down to the States, and I was like, but can you guys rent a car? You have to be 25 for that. And I got this look like, are you an idiot? Immediately I was like, Nordell.
Amazing. Well, I'm glad we made you believe it.
You are fantastic musicians, and I'm super excited to, hopefully I've got the right video queued up. I'll pull this up, and you're awesome.
Thanks. Back at ya.
Everybody's talking about keeping heads above water. I knew someone's daughter. She pretty much drowned. Praise you on the outer road before she run out of road. I pray that she run out of road. Call it high hopes. Call it high hopes. Wears a feather in his cap. He can't remember why. His father told him that it's there to help him fly. Praise he runs out of road before he runs out of road. I pray that she run out of road. Call it high hopes. want to sing with us? Okay, you three people. Ready? Your part's just like this. We might get more of you. That's it. Like your heart rate. Keep going all the way to the end, please. Don't you run now, yeah. Run. Don't you run now. Run. Don't you run now. Run now. Don't you run now. Run now. Thanks for singing. You all sound beautiful.
What
Renee,
I
please tell me that is as much fun to do as it is to watch.
Oh, I'm very glad it's fun to watch. Yeah, it's my most favorite thing in the world, and I love when the audio switches and you can hear the whole room. That's my favorite. I love that. Everybody singing together. That's great.
it's the best power move in the world when you realize you are in a conference of all singers and you're like, I'm gonna pull a sing-along, and you get hundreds of singing voices. You guys
Totally.
handle it so well. It was lovely having you.
The harmonies.
Thank you.
were
Thanks for having us.
harmonies were so beautiful, just amazing.
I think the best part is that, as amazing as that video sounded, it actually sounded that much better in the room that night. Like, to be there in that room was definitely, it was a moment for sure. And I hope that comes out right. That video still sounds amazing, and so. But yeah, you guys were fantastic. Definitely one of the moments of the conference for me.
Appreciate that, Tracy. Thanks.
Well, Renee, you and Hillary and Noel, we got the names right?
Yes.
You are the kindest, nicest folks that I love meeting you at FMO, and especially knowing that you were formal showcase artists at that point, because I was meeting you for the first time, being like, we're going to have a ball in a couple months. And to have you come down, it was really wonderful having you. Any particularly memorable moments from the conference or from that experience?
Yeah, I mean, many. I have to say too, I feel like at the beginning of your video, Will, you mentioned being up until 3 a.m, and like everything about your demeanor in that video was like, oh my God, I know that feeling of like getting up to do something the next morning when you've just spent so many hours awake. But I love that about conferences in general, and NERFA was definitely no exception. This was our first one, and it was lovely. And actually, Kemp, I hadn't met you before, but I remember too just being in a panel presentation that you were in, and hearing some things that you offered in response to that. Just really insightful, beautiful things about why music rocks, and in particular folk music. And yeah, I think anytime, NERFA or otherwise, that we can all get together and just experience that collective energy around something we also clearly care about is just really magic.
Well said. I will toss up on screen Sue Whitfield, who was tuning in saying she lives in Canada, so she doesn't always get to hear this amazing music. And I just want to say, Sue, we got Canadians in here. Brad and Renee, they're part of the Great White North. So like, you know, you'd be surprised. They might be closer than you think. Just wanted to make that point. Live music is wonderful. Videos are cool too. I love them. I've been working on all of these with a wonderful team of people. I do want to recognize all of the work that went into this. Stefan Hannigan, who volunteered, he came down from Canada. We met at FMO last year. All of that set up for the formal showcase artists, Renee, for you and for Flamey and for Cricket Blue. He brought all of those were his cameras. He literally just did that because he loved the experience of working together, and he's responsible for why we have video from all of your stuff. All of the EPK equipment, all the video equipment's actually mine. But Paul Hicks, who is the cinematographer that we hired, he is actually a professor that teaches cinematography down in Pennsylvania. And we brought him in. He had no background in folk music at all. And you guys made him cry 5 times over NERFA. And at the end of the experience, he was sort of packing up gear, and I was starting the conversation with him, being like, "I hope you'll consider coming back." And he didn't turn around, but like, he just said yes. And I'm like, "Okay, maybe we could talk through." And he just turned around and he was crying. He was like, "This was life-changing. I really hope you have me back." And he did the editing of all of the EPK videos for free. We were actually going to hire, well, we didn't have money, so I was going to do it in my free time. But you guys got a professional cinematographer who volunteered to do these videos, the editing, because he was so touched. And we can't not thank Matt Raymer, who mastered not only the formal showcase artist, the EPK artist this year, but also the formal showcase artist and the EPK work that we did, the first iteration of it last year. He's done free mastering for over 60 or 80 artists in the last year and a half through NERFA. So I wanted to call out those people because I'm very thankful, because this wasn't just done by me and Natalia. We got to coordinate a whole bunch of other stuff, but the videos was because of a wonderful team of people that mostly volunteered to be there. Aiden Lewis did most of the editing work on the formal showcases. Most of you probably met Aiden at the conference. He was sort of the omnipresent young man that was literally everywhere, fixing everything at every point in time. But cool. Moving along. I am excited, particularly for the next one, because it's my partner in crime. It's the woman I call boss. It's one of the women I call boss, but it is the person that like Natalia, you and I knew each other before last year, but we didn't like know each other. And I still don't know why you called me when you were heading through town
Yeah, I
to.
just knew you lived in Newburyport. This is kind of funny. I knew Ethan through some StreamYard things we'd done for someone else, and just thought you were a groovy chick, and I wanted to hang out.
Oh, thank you.
Called you up, and I was talking about like, oh, I'm gonna apply to NERFA this year, and you were like, you know that I'm the executive director, right? And I was like, nope, didn't know that. We were just having tacos on the beach, but yeah. And then Ethan said, well, I actually need help. Would you ever want to do something like that? So I said yes, having no idea what I was getting into, which is sort of the story of my life, and figuring it out. And then it was just so grand. I decided to stay in a more permanent way.
And you
it's just been awesome.
you saved my bacon a bunch last year.
Likewise. No idea what I was. I mean, yeah, I think a lot of the time we all do this, right? This is why the DIY artists, we're so good at so many things. We can pivot quickly on stage and off, and deal with emergencies calmly, and, in order of importance. I've learned so much from working with Ethan. Is just a master at so many different things, and we argue like bananagrams, don't we? It's pretty great. But it's really safe. I just love how much you are so open to learning all the time, and What an incredible heart you have and passion for this organization and community. It's unparalleled. So it's been a joy.
Thanks. I wasn't fishing for that, but I appreciate it super much.
It's just true.
What I will say is that I particularly loved at the conference is we kind of sprung that we were promoting you. Was it like 5 minutes before we announced it?
Not even. I
Not
was about
even.
to get on stage. First of all, you were like, "Can you MC tonight?" And I was like, "Oh man, okay." I think I was in bed at that point. I jumped up. Will, did a will, got up, and I can do this. And I was about to get on to announce somebody, and you were like, "Hey, we're gonna promote you, and do you want to be the conference director?" And I was like, okay." Just got on the stage. It was pretty great. Again, no idea what that meant. Just said yes. I'll figure it out. Still figuring it out, but
Well, you
we
saved
do
my
have an
bacon.
incredible team.
You saved my bacon week. You saved my bacon weekly. So thank you for that, and thank you for this.
We already know how it ends, so let's not rush this part. If you're doing something right, it's bound to leave a mark. So break wide open, take a look inside. Maybe being scared is just finding new ways to be surprised. Find me now that I'm not lost. I'm on my own path, learning how to walk. Find me, I've been here all the time, flashing open, I'm a neon sign. Open, open. If someone at the hospital calls, then I'll know I missed my chance to walk you home, and I will break wide open and I'll find you there. You've been gone for so long, and now you're everywhere. So you find me now that I'm not lost. I'm on every path, I'm in your heart and in your thoughts. Find me, I've been here all the time, flashing open, flashing open. I'm a neon sign. Open,
Oh, good Lord. That's a lot of lipstick. I don't know what was happening. Pretty sure I just gotten out of the shower. I was like, what time is it? Oh, fuck.
If the most that can be said after a performance like that is the lipstick wasn't right, I think
It's always going to be like, I don't know about you all, but like most times, if I mess something up musically, it's like, whatever. That's the beauty of temporal art, and we do it again the next night and whatever. Generally, it's like, I cannot believe I said that in front of people into a microphone. Or like, why did anyone not tell me that I had something in my teeth? Oh.
And
Anyway.
Natalia, that song is so powerful. It's
Oh,
just
Aaron.
holy moly.
That room, that was pretty magical space
Mhm.
created, huh? We're gonna have to, we won't be able to top it, but we'll do something special. I put the echo cancellation on. Is it better now?
Yeah, perfect.
Thanks.
Yeah, Paul Hicks, who's the cinematographer, he and Aiden, the day you were there, the day before everyone came, we kind of went to the hotel and we're like, do you have furniture we could steal? And they basically showed us this giant back room of furniture that hadn't been used in decades that the hotel had, and we just raided it and we built that set. Man, you guys look so good, lipstick and all.
Well, thanks for letting me do that. It was pretty fun to be a little incognito. I didn't do much playing, because I was working my little tuchus off. But there was one night I played in a room and somebody stood up in the back and he goes, "You're behind the table?" At the signing guy. I was like, yeah, dude, everybody has a superpower.
Yeah, I have to say that the whole process of doing that video, I mean, I came down at my appointed time and I rolled in a keyboard and they helped me set it up. But the professionalism and the amount of just care they put into making sure your video was going to be right and so comfortable and efficient but not rushed. It was awesome. It was just a great experience.
Yeah, I give all the credit. I mean, there was a tremendous amount of planning that Natalia deserves some credit for going into it ahead of time. But Paul Hicks, who ran the cinematography of that, did such a spectacular job of getting you guys in, making sure that we kept to the schedule and we were fair to everybody, but that you didn't feel like it wasn't like we wanted you to feel like this was your time. And one of the things that I'm working on now, and I can't make any promises, but Camp, I saw your video and I loved it, but in the back of my head, I was like, we need to get him a piano for next time. So we're reaching out to places in Portland and seeing if anyone will give us a couple of pianos for the EBK room and for the formal showcases, because I feel like keyboardists or piano players in general get sort of the short shrift of the game when you're rolling around with a keyboard. So I wanna find an opportunity to give you the full deal.
That'd be great.
Awesome idea.
Fingers crossed. Got to find the funds, but if we can find the funds, we'll make it happen. So now
He's not showing up. As his manager, I'm gonna say he's not showing up. If the piano's not there, Kent doesn't show up.
I'll tell you, at 71 years old, when I get a gig and it's like, so do you have a keyboard, piano? They're like, no. I'm like, God damn it. I'm lugging that again. It's like, my back pays every time. But the place in Methuen with $2,000, I am so looking forward to that. It's like, oh. Yeah.
Well, so interesting story. For those of you that have known me for a while, I used to be part of a touring band called Pesky J. Nixon. And my music partner, Jake Bush, spectacular musician. When we started playing together 15 years ago, he played piano. And for the first couple of years we played, he brought a keyboard, but often he'd leave the keyboard at my house. So I had to bring the keyboard, which was brilliant on his part. But about 2 or 3 years in to the experiment of playing together, I was like, you should really consider picking up an accordion. And he was like, why would I do that? And I was like, they're lighter. And I'm not going to carry the keyboard anymore. And he begrudgingly bought a keyboard on Craigslist for like $60. He was like, I'll do one song. And the next show we did, he did it for one song, and he had a bunch of people come up after the show being like, man, that accordion was awesome. He's like, I'll do more than one song. And now he is one of the best accordion players out there. And if you're ever looking for one, I recommend giving him a call. But all because he couldn't con me into carrying the keyboard anymore.
Well, I have to give props to Linda Marks and Aaron Tornberg. Linda let me borrow her keyboard, and Aaron brought it down for me. So I'm like, Aaron, I owe you a free show at your play at your venue, because to not lug a piano is, I owe you my life. I am good. So yeah. So thanks, Linda and Aaron. Thank you.
Yeah, one Broadway, and Linda, who's a regular but had to miss us last year, will be coming back this year. All right, let's go with Brad. Brad, I feel like you've been waiting the longest, because you have been asking me from like a day after the conference when the video would be done. So it's done.
Cool.
All right, man, here we go.
Hello, my name is Brad Reed. I come from Halifax, Nova Scotia, and I basically play the Cape Breton style fiddle music that I learned from my grandfather, who was from Shetty Camp, Cape Breton. I kind of, these days, put my own spin on it. I put out a recent album in May called The Bridge, and it's all original music that I have included some of my other influences in over the years, playing saxophone and touring with Cirque du Soleil and all that sort of stuff. So it's original Celtic music with some pop and jazz influences. And we've got Kyle on the guitar here today. So here's a tune called Sunday Session.
Well
Thank you.
done, Brad, man.
Thanks. That was fun.
Oh my lord, we've got Paul Hicks watching. We've got the cinematographer that helped make all this stuff work watching.
All right.
I actually am Paul's gonna join us in this event next month. I want him to be part of the conversation with you guys because he's certainly putting the hours going through it. It's, I want to talk about a lot of things with you, Brad, because you are a fascinating cat. But I do want, because we've got Paul in the room, I just want to acknowledge that there were 35 artists that did that thing, and each of them recorded on 3 videos. So you have 35 artists times 3 times 15. That's the number of minutes he had to edit. And me, math no good, but my computer skills are excellent. So that is 1,575 minutes of video editing that he did to put specifically the EPK stuff together. And thank you, Paul. We really appreciate you. So on to Brad. What was that little Cirque du Soleil thing you dropped at the beginning? Was that kind of felt like just sort of like when I did this thing, like,
Yeah, well, that was the 2019, just leading up to COVID. I guess I was in a show, Crystal, and I was playing clarinet and saxophone and guitar, but touring. So it was, that was quite the wild ride itself.
I'm glad you went back to the Cape Breton fiddle sound. You're great, man.
Oh, thanks. I mean, I love it all. I mean, I played saxophone, growing up, but my grandfather played the fiddle, and that was always in the family too. So I'm kind of torn a lot of the times between what I do, but I think fiddle is, that's where I really end up.
There is nothing better than the utility musician, and you have that skill set, sir.
Well, thank you. Keeps me busy.
Yeah. But thank you so much for coming down. Was this your first NERFA?
Yeah, it was. Yeah. And it was cool. I saw people there from Ontario. I didn't know what to expect really, but I ended up, knowing some people there. So it's great.
And do you hear about us through FMO, or was it something else?
Actually, I met you briefly in Kansas City at the Folk Alliance back in January, February. And so, yeah, we had the...
Oh, I scared him off. But he came back. Welcome back, Brad.
Oh,
there you are.
Thanks.
We lost you for a half second, but good to have you back. That was just a really wonderful time, and I love so much about this year and the performers is, to me, folk music at its best is the widest umbrella possible. Like I personally get a little offended when people try saying folk music is only X or folk music is only Y, and I loved getting the East Coast fiddle in there, and I loved the Flamey Grant, and I loved Kemp bringing in some soul in there, and I loved that all of what you collectively brought as a group of people just really represented a much wider version of what folk music can and should be. So thanks for being part of that, Brad. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
All right. I think we're down to our final 2. And I think the next one is my friend Tracy Walton there, who has been really wonderfully helping out with a bunch of stuff behind the scenes. One of the stories that, I appreciated, but was one of those stories that I was like, oh, would have been great if I knew this ahead of time. he told the story of recording his video and talking to the gentleman that had volunteered to help with sound, that his microphone was backwards, which it was. But luckily, we have a wonderful mastering agent that brought you up, and now you're one of the loudest
Perfect
videos. So I just super glad to have you in here.
It's important to have the labels face you, you know.
Usually the right way to go. All right, my friend, here we go.
Hi, my name is Tracy Walton. This song is called They Say You Can Never Go Home. When I was young, wouldn't go as far as Born to Run. Yet I'd walk briskly towards the sun. Now here on the stage, with some local international fame. It's a brand new city, it's somehow the same. Say you can never go home, wouldn't wanna be there again, 'cause it never ends happy and I got new friends. Pack the drums and guitars, we'll all pull a stool to the bar. We'll recount the moments, if any there are, and we'll toast to the times, to the future end of this very night. We'll drink to tomorrow, may the past stay behind. Say you can never go home, wouldn't wanna be there again, 'cause it never ends happy and I got new friends. As the lights go low, I hope you're all satisfied with the show. May we all be lucky and no one leaves alone. Say you can never go home, maybe we could try it again. We'll throw a big party and invite all my friends. Say you can never go home, maybe we could try it again. We'll throw a big party and invite all my friends.
Tracy, that was so much fun.
Yeah, it's kind of like everyone said, it's nerve-wracking to see how the video came out. That was the one I was most worried about because of the feet drums, and I didn't know how it was going to translate with, you know, one microphone. But it
was a
worked out.
party.
Yeah, it's a one-man party.
Totally.
Yeah,
So-
fun stuff, you know.
You know, I've worked with Matt Raymer from a mastering perspective for like 20 years. And as he's gone through the videos, he's very vocal when he runs into a technical problem that he's got to deal with. You know, I come from an engineering background, so we complain to each other. But it got to yours, and I went back to find what he said. He said, can't get the room noise out of Tracy. 0 empty space to capture room noise. Gonna have to fake it. Though he sounds damn good.
Well, I appreciate that. Yeah, it was cool. It was a fun little gig. The other two tunes I didn't use those drums, so we'll see how those go in the rest of it. Yeah, it was fun, and I feel like I should admit that I've done kind of a social experiment here. I was talking with Laura from Cricket Blue. We texted, and I said, "Do you think anyone would notice if I changed my shirt after every video?" So I've had 7 different shirts on during this entire time, and I don't, and did anyone notice other than Laura knew she was in on it? So
I'm sad you admitted it. I would have rather you wrote it in the comments once the video was done, just to be like, but
Yeah, I'm gonna have to watch through the whole thing again.
yeah, we're gonna have to rewatch.
Nice looks. I had some fashion stuff happening. So
It was just this one that I realized. I was like, oh, his shirt color changed. I think your other ones were maybe similar colors, but I was like, maybe he had a sweater on. The guy got hot, got nervous watching himself. Who knows?
Yeah, it's just things that entertain me, so anyways, yeah, fun stuff. It's cool to hear everyone. I like to tell people the story that my bio would read that I was the New England Music Awards best male performer, if not for Will Daly. So it's nice to have him here. I think like every year he wins. So he's not here now. So I'm sorry.
I think it's funnier that you say that when he's not.
No, I always tell him that when I see him. I'm like, man, if you just would let me win once, my bio would read so much better, man. But you hear his video, you're like, yeah, of course he wins. What the heck? He's really good. So.
Well, you are really good too. I also want to point out to folks, I think Tracy is one of those people in our community that not everyone recognizes how deep his talent goes, not just as a musician, as a back musician, as a bass player, but his studio is amazing. And you really pivoted earlier than most people. You pivoted into sort of the video game, and you do your own version of this that is really quite wonderful. I have in the description of this video, I've linked to everyone's YouTube channels, but On Deck Studio, get that right?
On Deck Sound Studio.
On Deck Sound is Tracy's studio, and I definitely recommend people check out the videos he's done. If you're an artist looking for a video, you should probably reach out to him. And we've already talked about ways that you're going to get more involved in NERFA this year, and that's going to be fun.
Yeah, and in the ultimate segue, I will say that the next group coming up was the most recent video that we've done in our series live at On Deck. Cricket Blue was in. They came down from Burlington, Vermont, and they amazing. They're another one that just kind of at the conference blew me away, and so they've done the series, and we're trying to get the pairs down to play Black Bear. They're going to come do the session. Natalie's coming in, so hopefully. She looked confused on that. I thought you were coming in to hang out and do some stuff. Okay. Or Natalia, sorry. Yeah.
I knew who you meant.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Oh, it's all good. I was looking around. I was like, "Who's Natalie?"
I realized I forgot to eat. So like,
dude.
Yeah.
Oh, good, man. Well, let's jump into our last video, and I want to thank you guys all for being here. I much prefer this version over the old version where we did the full videos and get a chance to sort of talk to each other and the Mutual Admiration Society, and hopefully you guys make connections amongst yourselves, because like that I think is the best part about being a musician, is the fact that you get to hang out with other musicians, and sometimes it's the worst part about being a musician too, but either way, it's the wonderful extreme part about being a musician. I'm gonna go to Cricket Blue. You guys were another one of those groups that I have seen you play a number of times through the years. But it's always kind of like Aaron. It was always me walking through a performance. It was never me sort of sitting down and getting to see how goddamn good you are. You're fantastic musicians, unquestionably, but your songwriting in particular is so unique, is so individual. And the harmonies you pull, as an ex-a cappella guy, the number of times you guys go to the suspensions and I'm just like, oh, oh, so good. Anyway, love you guys. Here you are.
Does the body worry if you keep it inside? Does it feel at home? Does a body worry with the shade up to the cars outside if you keep it in? Ooh. Alicia tells me men are dogs while we mop the floor. I see her get into their cars when her register is closed. Her mouth is brown with lipstick. Her hair is soft and smells like smoke. We put the produce out while it's hard and green. Alicia bags the old fruit up, juice running in her sleeve. I ask her where it goes. I like the way the ripe fruit smells. It seems impossible, the green fruit's all that sells. In the parking lot, I find her talking to a little stray. Cigarette break by the dumpster, fruit flies landing on her face. Fruit flies landing on her. Alicia tells me men are dogs, the way they talk to her. Sometimes their eyes have felt like hands, slipping fingers in my collar. She asks me where I go, and then how much my parents pay. It seems impossible how much gets thrown away. Will I know her, this Alicia, when the summer's at an end? Won't I find a better place and never see this girl again? Anyway, this brave Alicia walks me past the hound dog's bay and asks me what I think becomes of all the fruit we throw away. Asks me, does a body worry if you keep it inside? Does it feel at home? Can a body survive? Will you take it to the cellar? The bones and the tether, lay the bones of the dog and the body together. Does the body worry if you keep it in?
Thank you. Thanks very much.
Yeah.
Damn, guys.
So good.
So good. And I'm cheating because I'm going to play another little thing from you guys from the concert that you guys did a couple weeks ago. Only because I really, that space, I was so paranoid about having, like, I really, when we got that space, I was like, I've got to be very, very, very careful about who we invite into this space for it to work. And my Lord, you guys just did such a beautiful job with that. So just, this is a quick video that you were so nice and you shot after you finished the show. I got you to do this again, but here is that video real quick.
Pressed up now, now, pressed up close against the now, now, going lightly past. Life, such life is all I ask. How could you ask me to put it away? Only for that I know how cold it grows when I strain to sense the way the wind blows. It's life I want and would not lose. How could you ask me only to say now?
Wow.
Yeah, that was a magical experience, guys. Thank you so much for doing that show. Thank you all for being here tonight. For anyone watching, all of these folks, every single one of them has a YouTube channel, and they would super appreciate you following that YouTube channel, and they would have mailing lists, and they'd super appreciate you jumping on the mailing list. Nerfa has a YouTube channel, you know, because you're probably watching us on it. If you could subscribe, that would make me really happy. I always like seeing those numbers go up. But I want to thank everyone for being here, and just in particular, I just want to sort of be cognizant of all of the work, not just done by the volunteers and the people that are paid to be there, like Natalia and I, but all the volunteers that made the event run overall, and all the musicians. I mean, this is about music. Without musicians, it doesn't really mean much. So, Aaron, thank you so much. Flamey, who couldn't be here, thank you. Kemp, fantastic job. Will, great having you. The Pears, Renee, it was so much fun having you here tonight, and give Hillary and Noel our best. Natalia, you're gonna put up with me probably again within the next 24 hours, so we'll deal with that then. Brad, thank you for your patience in getting these to you. Tracy, you're the best. Thank you for all of the help over the last year with all of our projects. And Cricket Blue, man, you guys are special. Thank you all so much, and have a wonderful night. And stay in touch. This is it's music. It's a lonely world, and I think music helps deal with that somewhat, and you are all doing very good work in that way. So thank you.
Thanks so much, Ethan.
Thank you. Everyone, have a wonderful night that's watching, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you so much. This was awesome.
Thank you. Bye.